Buenos días, ¿qué tal? Aquí estoy con mi amiga Pau. Estamos en Orlando, ella me está visitando a mí. Y bueno, hoy vamos a hacer un plan súper cool y me los voy a llevar a todos ustedes conmigo. A los que no se conocen a Pau, Pau es una Inclusive Advocate y es creadora de contenido en Instagram también. Entonces bueno, hoy los vamos a llevar a todos ustedes con nosotras, así que quédense aquí para ver qué se viene.
Bueno, we are on our way. We are on our way to what we have planned for you guys. And we're gonna do a quick stop at Starbucks because we are starving. Y ustedes saben que yo sin mi café no soy nadie. So, yeah. También, I wanted to show you guys, Yare maneja igual que yo con controles de la mano. Yare drives just like me with hand controls. So I wanted to show you guys how cool it is. And we just said that we had to drive each other's cars. Miren. So, if you guys can see, she holds the wheel right here with the knob just like I do. Y por acá tiene the brake y el acelerador. And she looks like a queen doing it because she is a queen.
Thank you.
Yes, surprise. Yo sé que ya todos sabían lo que vamos a hacer, pero still. Woo! Okay, Jade was telling me that if we follow the blue line, it's gonna take us to the handicap areas of the park. First off, we start with handicap parking, no me imagino.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here, like, there's the sign for disability parking.
Woo!
And then here, there's a sign too.
There's another sign here.
They look for your tag.
Oh, okay.
And then that's why they let you through. And then the other cars park the other way. Ok, y acabo de estacionar y por lo general siempre trato de conseguir parking en donde hay el extra space como para el wheelchair, pero ya están tomados como todos los espacios, entonces me parqué acá, que también es considerado handicap, pero las líneas están mucho más pegadas, entonces no hay el extra space como para sacar una silla de ruedas ni nada. Y por ejemplo yo, que tengo la rampa en mi carro, está acá atrás y tengo que montar el scooter, siempre necesito el espacio adicional para poder bajar la rampa. Y también necesito que no se me parque alguien atrás. Y estos puestos son puestos dobles, entonces se para un carro adelante y un carro atrás. Entonces lo que hice es que me parqué en el medio, de manera que no me quepa un carro atrás ni un carro adelante, porque necesito el espacio adicional para poder parquear el scooter, para poder bajarlo y para todo eso. Entonces eso es algo que hay que tener en consideración cuando vienen a Disney y van al parking, al handicap parking. No siempre va a haber el extra space porque esos puestos son limitados. Entonces ellos añadieron como un espacio más para handicap, pero no están diseñadas las líneas para tener el espacio extra.
Bueno, como Yare nos acaba de explicar la situación del parking de handicap, ahora vamos a ver cómo ella baja su scooter con su propia rampa y todo ajustada al carro. So Yare just explained to us the situation with the handicap parking. As we can see, it's not big enough to allow space here. This is not even a handicap spot because they're all packed over there. So now we are gonna let her scooter down.
It open.
No, porque ahí vas a bloquearle.
Pero ellos salen por delante.
Pero ¿y si alguien se quiere? Oh, ya entendí el problema.
So like, porque si alguien se parquea aquí, ¿cómo la bajo?
Exacto. Y si se saca el carro un poquitico para atrás, ¿me entiendes? Ready?
Yeah.
Literally. Perfecto, voy a botar esto acá. I'm gonna get a wheelchair from the parking to the, what's it called?
To the entrance.
To the entrance, because as we know it's a far walk. Jade has her scooter. I'm gonna be renting a scooter in there, but for now we're gonna get a chair. So here we
Nunca me
are.
decido, chavo, siempre
It's a pretty far walk.
nunca puedo estar normal.
Mm.
Calor o frío.
So all of these spots were full. That's why we had to park in the back.
Este es el área del parking que sí tiene el extra space, que es donde normalmente me parqueo. Pero estaban full. Con Ana. I love it. All right, so this is the special entrance for Handicap, and as you can see, they direct us right here, and they have a ramp that they will go over. As soon as the monorail door opens, they'll move the ramp so that way we can go over inside the monorail.
Walk in backwards. No. Come over this way. Okay? Grab the cocktail.
Hold on to the handle and stay clear of the door. The monorail will depart momentarily.
You're welcome. All right, now it's easy. You're heading that way. Right there. And shut her down.
Anyway, for this technique plan, located not permitted magic. Designated area outside the park entrance.
Oh my god.
Monorail tunnel. Doors. Made in
Bueno, we have made it to Magic Kingdom. Yes. Okay, so let's see how they place the ramp for Jade to get down. My wheelchair, she had to bring it in because the pole didn't cross the door. So I'll sit on it as soon as they bring it down.
When boarded on Broadway, ladies and gentlemen, remember to help with the law. Don't go by the hand. Remember, lower your head and watch your step.
Alright, we are checking in. Hi, how are you? Woo! We have made it.
And they'll have on the right hand side this middle instrument.
Okay. Thank you. Now we're gonna go pick up our scooter. Yeah, toma. Mija. Okay, so this is the line to request the scooters over here. So I'm gonna make the line now. and then you guys will see me on my scooter.
We're renting the scooters, and there's the chairs. Locker rental here. So many ears.
Okay, we are ready. We're in our scooter. Woo! Oh my god. Literally. Hi.
We just can't wait.
Got it. Bueno, we're gonna get a head start on Adventureland, which Jade says it's this way. I don't really know where I'm going, but she says it's this way. So we're gonna get a head start. We're gonna start speaking about accessibility in these rides and which rides are actually wheelchair friendly. So stay tuned.
Alrighty, so we're on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and as you guys can see, there is stairs to get into the ride, and the queue, it's not accessible. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna come this way with this cast member, and they're gonna give us a return time, so that way we do like a virtual line and we can wait somewhere else. And then right there's a ramp where we go through at the moment of riding the attraction. Ok, ya nos dieron el return time y podemos regresar a la 1:20 o un poquito después de la 1:20, no importa, cualquier hora después, pero a partir de la 1:20, entonces dentro de 40 minutos podemos regresar.
We're making the line for the Little Mermaid. We're gonna be doing the Little Mermaid. These hallways are way too narrow. I actually crashed in one of them. So I believe these hallways, like the pathway to get here, is very narrow. It doesn't have enough space for these cars that are so big. But yeah, that's all I got for now. Ven, un brinco pues. ¡Ay, puño! Okay, so they actually made these treadmills for us to go a lot slower because we obviously couldn't go as fast as they go. Hopefully right here you guys will see how fast they go, or they're all slow all around from what I'm seeing. But they go super fast and we obviously couldn't get in with those treadmills speeding. So yeah, they made it super slow for us. Alright guys, so up next we are gonna do Big Thunder. This is one of my favorite rides, and as a wheelchair user, disabled, you get to wait here. Baila, baila. Baila, baila.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga sus manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Cuide a sus pequeñitos. Muchas gracias.
Howdy, partners! For your safety, remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train, and be sure to watch your kids. If any of you folks are wearing hats or glasses, best remove them, because this here's the wildest.
Okay, so we just got off. What's the name of this ride again?
The Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Okay, so what are our thoughts? Yeah, so far we've been on to the Little Mermaid and then Big Thunder Railroad. What are your thoughts? Do you think the rides are accessible? And I'm speaking in every aspect, wheelchair users, you know, cane users like ourselves.
So I do believe they are accessible. However, there might be some difficulties when getting on the rides, depending on the type of vehicle that you're getting on. I think they've done a great job trying to make the best out of what they have, like make the rides the more accessible they can. As far as like the walking treadmill kind of thing, they really make it a lot slower, so that helps a lot. So I do believe that they are pretty accessible. However, they will always ask you if you're able to transfer, or like if you're able to walk a couple steps, because if you are in a wheelchair, they will or like in a scooter, they'll ask you to park it aside or leave it outside, and then you have to walk or transfer and walk a few steps if you're comfortable with that.
But how about people that are in a wheelchair? Because the wheelchairs don't specifically fit in the cars. So is there a service where they carry the person from the wheelchair to the car, or that doesn't, or we don't know about that?
I don't know about that
Okay.
yet. I think that's what they ask if you're able to transfer, but I never have asked what happened if I'm not
I've
able to
never
transfer.
witnessed that either.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we'll figure it out, and then we'll
let you guys
update.
know.
Yeah.
But I mean, everything is pretty much accessible. The only thing was on the Little Mermaid, it's like a treadmill to get on. And as you guys saw in the previous video, they did stop that for us. That was very great, because seeing that treadmill freaked me the hell out. So thanks for that. And now we're gonna go eat. So yeah. Literally our life all the time. How it really goes down though. Okay, so one thing, the restaurant doesn't have any handicap seating. So we are kind of stuck trying to see where we sit because the scooters don't really fit. Okay, so I'm leaving my scooter here, right? Because it's a bit narrow. Jade was able to get through. She's actually sitting there super comfortably. However, I'm leaving mine here because I just dealing with all of this is not happening.
Permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del vehículo.
Alright, so what are your thoughts on the Haunted Mansion?
I thought the treadmill of the Haunted Mansion goes way too fast. At least for the Little Mermaid, they slowed it down for us a good measure. Like we were able to.
Yeah.
Because the thing about treadmills is that for people with unsteady balance, you literally like trip and you lose your balance as you jump onto the treadmill. And then the one at Haunted Mansions for me has to be a bit slower for people with limited mobility because I almost tripped getting onto the cart.
Yeah.
And you kind of did too, I think.
Yeah, and also like it gets me anxiety because it goes so fast that I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to jump in the vehicle before
I agree.
it ends. So like,
I agree.
and then you imagine the worst scenario where you're not able to get in and the treadmill ends. So like, obviously it's a little bit scary, and also it's very dark when you're getting in. So like, it's hard to see where you're going.
You can't see where you're stepping.
So yeah.
For me, that's kind of where the disabled psychology kicks in. Like the fact that I get anxiety because I can't see where I'm stepping. Then I'm faced with a treadmill and I have to like hurry to get onto the ride. No.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so like I seen where sometimes there's flashlights, but today that was not the case, so we couldn't see much when we were getting on. So be mindful of that if you're going on the Haunted Mansion. It's just a little bit more challenging for people with mobility limitations. So
we're gonna be hitting up It's a Small World next.
Yeah,
where I know you can ride that one either on your wheelchair or on your cart. So
correct. Yeah. So we're gonna do It's a Small World now. This is like where the regular entrance is. There's a separate entrance for wheelchair. I'll show you guys where it is. Vamos a buscar la entrada de wheelchairs que está por un lado. I believe it's this way. Yes, this way.
We're gonna have our final comments soon on everything. We love this place, it's beautiful. Thank you. ¿Cuál? Ah, acá. Ya. And here we are going back in. I have to get off, right? Ponme más para el frente, please. We're currently back in and Yare is going to board
The scooter.
Show us how you board the scooter. So as you guys saw, we were kind of scared to have a car park over here because it would obviously block us, and then it would block the scooter from being able to, like, it would block the ramp from being able to put up the scooter as well. Whoop, whoop. Literally. Cuando llegamos estábamos como que, ¿y si nos bloquean? ¿Y si no? ¿Y qué pasa?
Mira el cielo.
El cielo. Hi guys, us again. Here we are at the end of the day. We are already at home and we wanted to take a couple minutes to catch up with you guys, to give you guys the full, like our full opinion of how our day was and how we really feel about it. We know we have many inclusive advocates watching us and many other people who don't have a disability, so thank you for keeping up with us throughout the whole day and for allowing us to give you a perspective on our life. So the first topic that I'm going to discuss is the scooters. I went ahead and I rented a scooter because Jade wasn't a scooter herself, and obviously there was nobody to push me around in a wheelchair. One thing to keep in mind, these scooters are expensive. They are $70 in total. They cost $50, but the park itself charges you a $20 fee. For what is the fee?
Like a deposit.
It's exactly, so it's like a deposit fee. You get it back, but just keep in mind that I know many inclusive advocates or just disabled people live off disability, and we know how tight our budget can be. So just have that in mind. If you are going with friends and family and they don't mind pushing you around in a wheelchair and you don't mind being pushed around in a wheelchair, that's always also a choice. What would you say would be like your top pet peeve today?
So I wanted to talk about the parking. So the thing with the parking is that there is a handicap space, but they only have the extra space on one side of the parking lot. So they do have a large parking lot for handicap, which is closer than the rest of the parking. So you have to walk less, it's a lot closer to the entrance. Keep in mind that it's closer, but it's not like just right there. You still have to walk, it's gonna be a long distance. But for me, it was because I do have the ramp in my car and I need the extra space to take out the scooter. So being that area being full, I have to be sent to the other side, which is parking for disabled, but it doesn't have the extra space. So it's kind of like figuring out what to do. I have to park right in the middle and hope for the car that was parking next to me not to block me off. Yeah, so that was my main thing. I do understand that the park probably doesn't full all the time, but I do think that it's very limited. Like it's only like about 4 to 5 rows, like just on one side that have the extra space. So that obviously fills up really quickly.
On another hand, we also want to touch base on the treadmill rides and just the rides themselves. Obviously, we started exploring the treadmill rides because they seemed, it's not that they seemed easy, but they seemed accessible because we were like, whatever, it's a treadmill,
It's
and
a
the
slow
rides
ride.
it's a slow ride, and the rides themselves seem to be a bit bigger, more accessible, but we had to ask the cast members to slow the treadmill down for us so that we could actually hop on, because people with limited mobility, whatever their condition is, we lose balance quickly. You know, we both suffer from spasticity, so that's tightness in our muscles constantly. And then for the Little Mermaid, they actually slowed down the treadmill for us, which was good. It was at a pretty decent rate for us to get in. But then at the Haunted Mansion, it was going super fast, and I almost tripped. I know you guys probably saw a clip here in my stories, and it was going super quickly, and then there was just a wall like in the front. So it's like, okay, so what happens if we trip? Do we just roll onto the wall and just land at the wall? So
so like the difference was not big, because like normally when you get to a ride that has like a slow moving walkway, you just tell them to slow it down, and you ask them, and they'll ask you. But in the Haunted Mansion, like when they did it, the difference, I didn't notice the difference. Like it was pretty fast.
Because they actually did say we already reduced the speed, and I was like, are you sure? The ride was also extremely dark.
Yeah.
So that was another thing. I couldn't see where I was stepping. I didn't really I could see, but it's kind of more difficult when you're limited and you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like it can get tricky.
Yeah, so if you're going alone and you're gonna be asked to park outside, so you have to walk a few steps. They will ask you if you're able to transfer and walk a few steps. Be mindful of that, because there's not gonna be like lighting all the time. For me, it was super dark. Sometimes there will be a cast member with a flashlight, but today we didn't see one. So just be aware of that, because if you're going alone, it might be like a little scary.
Definitely. And then another thing, the rides in general. So like we went on, what's it called? The Ranch, the Rocky.
We went on Big
Railroad
Thunder Mountain Railroad.
None of the terms I just said. That ride, they asked us the same thing. Can you transfer from your chair to the cart? But the cart itself, it was also a little hard to get onto, because they're deep carts. So we kind of had to put one leg up with your hand, because we do know we don't have full mobility. So it was kind of like, okay, go in and then sit. And then they took the canes from us, because the canes were gonna fly out in the middle of the drops and stuff. So that I understand it completely. But I feel like the rides itself, the entrances are very narrow. And then as you're going in with your cane, trying to hold on, so like things like that kind of become a little bit complex. And like there are some rides that are not wheelchair accessible at all. Like It's a Small World, the little boat ride actually has a boat where you can go in with your wheelchair peacefully. But as adults with disabilities, we don't want to go on It's a Small World. You know, we want to go on all of these rides. We want to explore all the faces of the park and what it has to offer. And I think it's time that, Disney World becomes a bit more inclusive on that end, and either maybe develops a program where they have like a disabled representative in the parks, or someone with a disability themselves that understands our needs, that understands our wants, to actually represent us in their space.
I wanted to add that I do feel like it has a lot to do with the fact that they built the park like a long time ago, when ADA, I guess, was not required. So they had to modify a lot of these attractions. So knowing that a lot of those attractions are still the originals and that they haven't changed much, I understand why they are not really designed. However, I do hope and I'm looking for the new attractions having more accessibility. The ones that are being built, the ones that recently are open. So I do hope to see that, especially because Disney is including a new like an inclusion, like it's gonna they call it like a key, but it's like an inclusion key. So they're it's gonna be like a principle for their company. So it's very interesting. I'm really excited to see what that's gonna bring. But I do agree with you that it's not very accessible. There's just a few attractions that you can go on the wheelchair, that you can stay on your wheelchair, and they're mostly like shows or like
it's things that as
things
adults
that you don't have to transfer.
Yeah, which I get it. The park we also went to, it's a kid park, but then again, what does a kid who needs a wheelchair or who uses a wheelchair or who has limited mobility, okay, most of the time you have like your parent with you helping you transition, but what comes next? And it's like, you know, these parks have been around for a very, very long time.
Yeah. However, I just feel like there's a lot to be done in the parks. It is still a great time. Obviously, you get a chance to see the parade, or the cavalcade, which is what's going on right now. And before we had the fireworks, which was great too. But when you take away those shows, like right now due to COVID, it is limited. Like there's just a few things that you can do. So keep that in mind if you're going, because obviously you have to pay for the ticket, and just so you know what you're expecting. And
yeah. Now the things we loved. Now we were talking about it. I loved the bathrooms. Why? The bathrooms don't have doors, so like you don't have to worry about crossing or opening this heavy door to reach your ADA equipped restroom. All the doors are very light. The entrance itself has no door, and then the stall has a door, but it's very lightweight and very easy to lock. The sinks themselves are also very wheelchair friendly. The full wheelchair fits, and you could just like wash up your hands peacefully. There's nothing that I saw wrong. There's also what they call the companion restrooms, or like the family restrooms, which those have doors, but obviously that's if you're gonna be going with a family member. I didn't try out the doors. I don't know if they're heavy.
Yeah, they're light.
They're light?
Yeah,
okay.
not lighter doors, yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing that I would give to the park themselves. And then a lot of the shops and the restaurants have open doors. Like you don't have to worry about like opening a door to go here, opening a door to go there. One thing is, I did buy a coffee at like a little shop, and it was kind of uncomfortable obviously to pay, because you have like the window and then you're going forward, and then the scooter is kind of like so big in the front that you kind of have to like stand up to pay, and the line wasn't feasible enough for you to like park sideways to have this movement and pay through here. But besides that, I think the people, like the cast members, are extremely helpful all the time. Just there seeing if you need any help.
Yeah, I love that most of the cast members are like willing to actually help you, even though like with COVID they were still offering you a hand when they saw us like struggle getting into the vehicle, and they'll ask you if they need to hold something for you. So that was great. Like, you know, and then they literally like, even like at the shop, like, or most of the times, like when you're trying to buy something, they'll actually come out to you and like be at the same level. Like, so it's pretty cool. I did like that. What else do you want to add on it? Any thoughts? Oh, well, I wanted to mention the Disability Access Service.
Oh yeah, the DAS,
Yeah, so essentially,
the DAS, right?
Yeah. The what?
DAS Pass?
Yeah, DAS, Disability Access Service. So Magic Kingdom, the queues that you have to go through to get into the attraction, some of those are not accessible because they were built and there's stairs on it, so you cannot go in your wheelchair and queue for that attraction. So what they normally do is something that it's called like a return time. Like essentially you go to the front and the cast member will let you know that there's stairs, because if it's your first time you wouldn't know that. So they'll let you know there's stairs, or they will just tell you to come back at a specific time depending on the wait time that the attraction has. For this, you don't need to sign up for anything. Like, it's just as they will see you in the scooter and they will understand that obviously you won't go up the stairs, so they'll just give you a return time. But there's also something called disability access service. It is not designed for mobility concerns, but it's a pass that might help you if you cannot be inside the line. Like if you cannot be physically on a queue for any reason, you can always go to guest relations, have a conversation with them, and then they will offer the pass. But in my understanding, it's not designed for mobility concerns, so we didn't attempt to get it. And honestly, it's not something that you need. Like, we didn't feel like we needed being on the scooter, because like you literally sit up the whole line. Like, you're sitting, so if your concern is mobility, standing, walking, the best thing to do is to rent a scooter or a wheelchair, because honestly, it's gonna be a lot of walking anyway. Even if you are not queuing or physically on the queue, you're still gonna be walking around all the time. So I think that I will definitely encourage people to get the mobility scooters or the wheelchairs.
No, I mean, I think the wheelchairs, and then it's also like the return time aspect. I think it's really cool because, like, let's say you have a line that it's like an hour to wait, and then you ask for your return time, and then they tell you like come back in an hour, so come back you're there at 3 p.m. and then they're like come back at 4 p.m. and then for 1 hour you either have time to go get a snack, go get a drink, go watch a parade, go to another ride in general. So I think that's a very resourceful thing to have. Also, you're part of the disabled community, because you can even like go chill somewhere else if you'd like, you know, just having that in mind when you guys go to these parks and stuff. But I think that is it for today and for a while. Thank you, Disney. This has been such a fun experience, really. And yeah, we hope you become more inclusive.
Yeah, so I had a great time, and honestly, I am grateful that, you know, the parks think about it and include us, even if we still think that there's a long way to go. It is great that, you know, we can enjoy it, and we're grateful for that,
we can
of course.
still go in and enjoy ourselves and have fun, because you can always have fun.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.